yourself, knowing what you'd like to do, what career you might be successful in. And this is just having self-awareness. The second is self-discipline, which is simply just being disciplined and being on time. The third is self-improvement. And then the fourth is self-evaluation, or being able to internalize yourself. So this is a good concept that people are aware of right now, but this is actually something that the Buddha taught as well. The only thing is, the way the Buddha taught it is a little bit more all-encompassing and adds other additional things into this understanding yourself. So with regards to what the Buddha taught, he taught 6 things when it comes to truly knowing yourself and having success. The first is something called sattva, which is having commitment and faith in your abilities. The second is your morality, which also equates into discipline. The third is just being a seeker, being a good listener, trying to get and gain knowledge with yourself. The fourth is to have wisdom. The fifth is self-sacrifice, or having empathy for people. And then the sixth is just being able to resolve and have solutions when you come across with challenges and problems. So when it comes to just being self-aware and having passion and commitment in what you do and having confidence, this actually takes understanding yourself. There are people in the world who might, for example, become an engineer, and they've been an engineer most of their life. Maybe when they were in like kindergarten or first grade, they just did very well in engineering classes. So it just happened that they decided to become an engineer. But then later on, they knew that wasn't their passion. It was just timing kind of dictated what they'll do with their life. And the thing is, oftentimes, we don't really stop to just kind of ask ourselves and internalize to find out what we really want to do. And then we just end up going with the flow and doing whatever kind of comes across our way. But if you have something called sattva, which is commitment, faith, and confidence in your ability, wouldn't you be that much more happier by simply asking yourself, what am I good at? What do I want to do? And an example of this is actually Bill Gates. So Bill Gates dropped out of college, and when he was in college, he was actually studying to become an engineer, but he left Harvard to pursue a career in software, working in a garage, which was actually at his parents' house. Anybody with that same sort of idea or potential plan probably would not take this on because it's very risky. Many of us it would be absurd to just kind of stop school and then drop out to just start a business. It's very risky. But the thing about Bill Gates is he knew that this was his passion and he had a commitment, and for him it was worth it, and he took that risk, he took that chance. And look at him today. It's because he had commitment and confidence in his ability. So having something like sattva, ability and confidence and faith in what you can do, is important. And most people just don't take the time to truly know themselves, because if they did, it'd be that much better for them with their life. A second thing that the Venerable talked about with regards to just understanding yourself is having morality. And it doesn't seem like morality would equate to just self-development, but it actually does, because when you have morality, such as the 5 precepts, that instills discipline. And when you have discipline, you're dependable and make things happen. If you're not disciplined, then all you're really doing is there's no actions in your dreams. It just ends up being dreams because you're not putting any action behind it. So discipline is really important, and it comes from morality as well. A third thing that we must have is we must be a good listener, observant, and a knowledge seeker. Back in the day, during Buddha's time, it was mainly listening, but today, in our time, it would be reading and the internet and listening as well, to gain knowledge for yourself and self-improve yourself. One other thing, the fourth, would be having sacrifice, because you have to be able to have sacrifice and empathy in order to work with other people. If you're a manager and you're a leader and you don't have self-sacrifice or empathy, you're going to have a lot of problems because you work with so many people and you wouldn't know how to deal with conflict if you don't know how to put yourself in other people's shoes. The fifth is having wisdom. You have to have wisdom in order to be successful. And wisdom is how do you use it? You just utilize it for yourself and internalize it to make your situation better. And then the sixth is being a problem solver, someone who knows how to find solutions to problems. So this is the Buddha's expansion of self-development. With most of what we know is the fourth self, but it actually can go beyond and is a little bit more all-encompassing when you learn what the Buddha taught with regards to this. And then other things that the Venerable talked about in terms of just examples and understanding this is he took an example of how to apply it. For example, with your kids, how do you build something called sattva, which is having compassion, commitment, and confidence in your abilities? It's very simple. The Venerable said that what you do is when you have children is when they're kids, they might want to be a sports star or a movie star because that's kind of what they see. The Venerable says what you can do is train your kids when they're young, maybe have them write like 4 or 5 different things that they want to do, and then kind of have them do this throughout their life in elementary, when they go to high school, and then when they go to college, have them evaluate it, because this list is constantly going to change. And this list will help them identify what kind of career they'll be good at. Instead of just not ever thinking of it or just kind of vaguely having it in your mind, write it down and really analyze it so that you can find that thing that you're good at and that you're passionate about. Another thing that the Venerable mentioned in terms of self-discipline, if you have kids, give them responsibility, make them do chores, reward them. Don't just spoil them and let them do whatever they want to do, because that's not going to help them in the end. So it's important for us to understand ourselves, because the more we understand ourselves, the better we'll be. And along with that, meditation will definitely help you. So at this time, I turn it back over to the Venerables, who will give us blessings.